Welcome to Wood Burning Escape Deck. I'm your host, Scott Van Orden. Some of you may know me as Svano, my professional name. Today we're going to be using this old skate deck, and what I'm going to be doing is using what we call a Versatool, which is your wood burning tool. You see it here, it has a nice little temperature gauge setting on it. These Versatools also come with different tips that you can use, and they just screw on. So you can get different forms in your line, create different lines. Standard pencil. This is my Black Wing Pearl, but you can use any kind of a sketching device. What you're going to do is lay out some lines here, just some guidelines to get you started, so you know where to go, what direction to take when you're wood burning. So I'm going to use the pencil, draw some nice curves. I also have a photo reference. Sweet kitty! This photo. It's okay to use references. I strongly recommend using references. Some of the things I want to include in the actual art piece are going to be the sweet kitty, the scaredy cat, and we're also going to do a spider web design. The spider web design, I'm just going to freehand that with my pencil. And I've already got a couple of guidelines started for you here. See that very well. Just making a basic spider web, making it dynamic, of course. Lay in a few of those lines. I know I want my cat, my scaredy cat, is going to be the centerpiece, so that's going to go in this area right here. Let's get started in sketching in the little kitty. Here we go. Now here's a side-by-side comparison of the boards, the skate decks that I'll be working with. I kind of started with a few decks that look just like this, that just had some great stuff on it, but unfortunately we're going to have to sand a lot of it off. This is some of the sanding that's been done already, but it will take quite a bit of sanding. I recommend either a sanding block, or if you have the power tool of a sander. Whoa, that's a big ball game right there. Sander makes all the difference. This board here is totally prepped and ready. It's been sanded down. Now safety is everything, so I'm going to suggest wearing a mask. A lot of these woods that you'll be dealing with are older woods that have been stripped, but there could be some kind of chemical residue or something as the smoke plumes with your tool when the smoke comes off. So wear a mask. You might also want to think about ventilation as far as being ventilated in your house. I'd recommend actually working outdoors if you have the opportunity, a deck, a patio to work on. Work on outdoors, so that way you'll have proper ventilation that you need. So I have a fan in the house right now, and the fan's generating some nice air throughout the place. So here we go. Now as I work on the cat's eye here, there will be imperfections in the wood. You notice this wood grain, this wood surface is going to have your wood grain going in certain directions. So if you're working against the grain, keep that in mind. It may be a little tough at times to get an accurate burn. But you can see the cat's eye is developing pretty nicely in just a short amount of time. So let's go up to the ear and work on that a little bit. Top of the head. What we're doing is just scoring a nice line with a Versi tool. Let the tool do the work a little bit too. You're just there to guide it along as you go across the grain. But you can come up with some nice free-handed little curves with this tool. I'm using the chisel point on this guy too, and the chisel point is a really cool tool. You can get a wide line and you can get a super thin line at the same time. So let's keep going. Now a lot of your wood burning is going to be experimenting with textures, what this tip can do as far as just brashing the wood or scarring the wood. And here's a little glimpse at the progress so far on our sweet kitty. And I just go in here, lay it almost on its side, and it actually burns the surface layer. It makes a nice little interesting design in the wood. And keep in mind, pressure is a factor. Also, you're applying pressure with your tool, but you don't have to overdo it. I have a heavy hand, so I can go in here and be working on it and really push into it, and then I kind of stop myself because it's not really necessary. You can still get a nice effect here by just gently rubbing the wood with your tip. Here we go. The kitty is coming along nicely. If you think about it like you're almost etching into the wood, It's kind of a good word to use, etching. And as you go, some of these wood grains will come out in the burns, and we get almost a fur-like quality to it, which is what I'm after. Since we're doing a kitty, and we want to have some fur on the kitty. This can take as long as you need it to take. The process itself, be patient. Be patient with it, because, you know, getting detail and struggling with how to use the actual tip, maybe markings, it's all an experiment. So just take your time, have fun with it, enjoy it. Enjoy the kitty. Now I'm going to take a little break from the wood burning part here. Now that we have our kitty in the foreground, we're going to do some of the spider webbing that I sketched in earlier. We're going to detail it a little bit more. I'm going to use a blue pencil just to give me some background spider webbing. So here we go. All you're doing is laying in some blue lines. This is just the guideline. You'll find that as you're wood burning it, you'll probably veer off your line a bit, and that's okay. All you're really doing is laying guidelines down just to help you out in a direction. Okay, so here's a quick look at some of the blue line that I've added. The spider web design in the background. For sake of, I guess, time and simplicity in the design, just to get it done, I basically did just a spider web. I was thinking originally about having the spider in the cat's mouth, which would be kind of cool, or different spiders kind of intricately put into the spider web itself, which all this can be done, and it may be done in the future, but for today I just wanted to lay out a simpler design. You can see the dynamic lines in the background. It's really going to pop and make this kitty cat pretty cool. As you're doing this, you may want to flip the board on occasion. I tend to draw upside down, draw sideways, whatever works best for you to get the shape and the curve that you're after in your line with your Versatool. What I'm doing now is just working on that web background and providing the actual webbing with the Versatool. Creating a bunch of curves, connecting curves to make the spiderweb design. All right, so mask off real quick. We're going to take a look at some of the lines I developed so far. You can see that there's several scars in the wood already, which is okay. It'll add a little character. But as far as your new webbing goes, your background spider web, it's coming along. If you feel it's tedious, one suggestion I might have is feel free to experiment with each curved line that you lie down, because some of them you could probably make some texture on, you know, make it a little hairy. As it is a spider web, it's going to be kind of sticky and hairy. So here's what we got so far. Looking good. Now another important thing to remember is varying up your line. Your line work in general, as you're doing this spider web, is the opportunity for you to make fatter lines, more distinct lines, more detail. Remember that a fatter line is going to come to the foreground, so your kitty cat actually needs the fattest lines of the whole design. But you can kind of vary that up in the spider web as you go along, so it's all coming together. I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. Wood burning commences. I'll keep you updated on progress. Thanks for tuning in. It's fun doing a little wood burning project, something a little different this time around. Happy Halloween. We'll see you next time.